So every so often, viewers will share their stories with me about how they overcame adversities, and I love sharing them with you guys, hopefully in order to encourage someone. So I'd like you guys to meet a viewer by the name Mike Oluakinlabi, who presently lives in Australia. He told me he came from a not so well-to-do family in Nigeria, but he was so determined to break the cycle of poverty. You guys know that there are some families where the poverty goes from generation to generation, and sometimes it may not even be acute poverty, but the parents struggled, and then when the children grow up, they're also struggling. And no, I'm not making fun of anyone. I'm just saying that generation to generation poverty is real, just as generation to generation wealth is also real. So he had two goals in life, two goals: to break the cycle of poverty and also to someday study abroad. And sure enough, people made fun of him whenever he shared his dream, you know, especially about studying abroad, because they knew that he had no means of studying abroad. That they just look at him and say it can never happen. As a matter of fact, he told me that people tried to talk him out of it several times. They told him to stop dreaming, that he was crazy. Unfortunately for him, despite having this dream, things actually got worse. In fact, there was a time that he became homeless and he was sleeping inside CNS Church, okay, in Oshodi, Lagos. Even though he wasn't a member of the church, but he had no place to live. Trust me, it's not a good experience when you have no place to live in Lagos. At the same time, he had to work as a bus conductor in Oshodi. I mean, have you guys seen bus conductors in Lagos? Yeah, right? That's not him. That's not him, of course. But if someone like that says that they have a dream of studying abroad someday and breaking poverty cycle in their family, would you guys take them serious? And the truth is, even though we look down on people, sometimes we judge them. You never know the dream that is pushing somebody. I just want you guys to picture the kind of life that this man was living as a bus conductor. And at another time, he worked at a factory without personal protectives, and he would work for 12 hours every day. That is at Metropolitan Factory in Ilupeju. 12 hours every day. That means from morning till night. And then later on, he worked as a sales boy at Tropics Heritage, also in Ilupeju. I'm sure that a lot of people probably they looked at him, and they probably didn't look at him twice because they, oh, it's just a sales boy. But you know, there was one thing that he was doing throughout this tough time. There was one thing he was doing every day. Every day, he said he would dedicate 2 hours to self-development, 2 hours every day. And that's when he would think about his dreams, his goals, how to get closer to his goals. Sometimes he will use these 2 hours to research schools that he could apply to outside Nigeria. Sometimes he would read books like biographies of successful people in the world and how they achieved their success. Sometimes he would read books on finance. One of his books, which I saw on his Facebook profile, is one of my favorite books. That is The Richest Man in Babylon. If you've never read that, please make sure you do. And sometimes he would spend the time attending church conferences. Whatever he could get, any lecture or anything that could help him in terms of self-development, he said he would go there. And sometimes he said he would just spend these 2 hours reading the Bible and praying about his future. And sometimes he would take long walks, just him alone, just to think about his life and his goal. But he made sure that he invested in himself every day for 2 hours. I guess that's why he didn't give up, right? So from doing menial jobs, he was able to save money to enroll at the University of Ibadan, and he said that his siblings supported him when they could, especially his stepsister and her husband. He said that they supported him throughout his undergraduate education, and in 2006 he got his first degree, graduating top of his class. Although he said that he was denied first class at the Department of Guidance and Counseling, but he graduated top of his class. But then he didn't stop there. He decided to go for his master's, and in 2010 he got his master's degree in psychology, once again graduating top of his class. Now that same year that he finished his master's, he finally obtained a full scholarship to study at the University of Cambridge in England. Can you guys believe? And that was where he got his second master's degree, this time in criminology. I'm sure that anyone that had seen him as a Danfo conductor or sales boy and then see him at Cambridge, they would be like, wow, you actually did this thing that you said that you would do. But you know what? He didn't stop there. Last year, he graduated with a PhD in criminology and criminal justice from Griffith University in Australia. once again on a full international scholarship that is from the Australian government as well as the school, the Griffith University. Today, Mike is a lecturer of criminology at the University of New England in Australia, and of course, he's no longer poor or homeless, and yes, he broke that cycle of poverty, and he got a master's and a PhD abroad. In fact, he's now teaching students abroad, and he's going about sharing his story. He's an inspirational speaker as well. I had to share his story with you guys because maybe you also have a dream that looks impossible, or you look around you and it looks as if everything is working against you. Please don't ever give up on your dreams. Now, it's also important that you don't just dream. You need to work on your dream. Please don't just dream. If you just dream and you don't take any actions, they are just dreams. You need to plan. You need to discipline yourself. You need to work hard. You need to do research. You need to talk to those that have done it, find out how they've done it. Most people would actually talk to you, and if 9 people refuse to talk to you, 1 person will talk to you. Ask questions, work hard, and pray hard, and things may get worse before they get well, before they get better, but please don't ever give up. Maybe some of you are hoping to study abroad someday, or maybe you've applied for admission 5 times and they denied you, or maybe you've graduated for years in Nigeria and you couldn't find a job. Please keep trying, and don't ever limit yourself to Nigeria. That's another thing. I'm not saying that everybody should leave Nigeria. I'm just saying that don't limit yourself to anywhere. Or maybe you got admitted but there is no means of paying and you didn't get scholarship. Don't give up. So in order not just to talk about this, I put together a list of schools that are offering scholarship to African international students, as well as a list of free colleges in different parts of the world. So visit my blog at adeolafayeun.com, and also you may want to pay attention to the schools that he attended, so you may want to start from there. It's not by force for you to study in America, by the way. Canada is also a great country. Many countries are doing well. Australia is so beautiful. I'm just trying to say, don't limit yourself somewhere. You have to take practical steps. Sometimes people will tell me, oh, I want to travel the world and see how life is outside Nigeria, and the first thing I ask them is, do you have an international passport? And they say no. I'm like, okay, so you're not ready to do anything yet, because that's like the first thing that you should do if you're trying to travel abroad. And there are all kinds of resources available online now. YouTube has all kinds of information regarding whatever it is that you're trying to do. So I hope that you will take advantage of all these things and don't just dream. And you know, I really admire that this man devoted 2 hours every day to focus and to invest on his dreams. Maybe that's what you need. You can start with 15 minutes a day. You know, nothing happens by mistake. Nothing happens by accident. You have to be deliberate, especially if you're trying to break a cycle or you're trying to do something phenomenal. It doesn't just come to you. Sometimes you have to go after it. So maybe you can start with 15 minutes and just take a look at where you are and where you hope to be and what you need to do to get there. Please don't do anything illegal to achieve your dreams, please. If you want to live abroad or study abroad, please apply for visa, because I always say that thousands of people have died going by road. It's not worth it. You never know, if America doesn't take you, another country may take you. But however difficult it may be, if he could do it, you too can do it. And that's why I wanted to share his story. You guys know I don't know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real.